The story that's quietly shaking political and celebrity circles right now isn't about the White House directly, but it's uncomfortably close. A late-night 911 call, a reported domestic dispute, and a woman found dead in her own living room. This case involves the wife of Jill Biden's first husband, and the details emerging are raising unsettling questions. Before we get into what we know and what remains unclear, make sure you're subscribed, because this is one story that's still unfolding, and the implications could grow much bigger. To understand why this is getting so much attention, we need to rewind decades. Long before Jill Biden became First Lady of the United States, she was a young college student navigating her first marriage. In 1970, she married Bill Stevenson, a relationship that lasted 5 years and ended in divorce in 1975. That chapter of her life has rarely been discussed publicly, and Jill herself has largely avoided revisiting it in interviews. But now, Bill Stevenson's current wife, Linda Stevenson, has become the tragic center of a shocking and disturbing incident. On December 28th, just after 11 p.m., police in Newcastle County, Delaware, responded to what was described as a domestic dispute at a home in the Oak Hill community. When officers arrived, they found 64-year-old Linda Stevenson unresponsive in the living room. Authorities immediately attempted life-saving measures, but despite their efforts, Linda was pronounced dead at the scene. As of now, no charges have been filed, and investigators have not publicly named any suspects. What's especially chilling is the timeline. Police were dispatched specifically for a domestic dispute call, not a medical emergency. That detail alone has fueled intense speculation, even though officials are being careful with their language. Detectives from the Criminal Investigations Unit were brought in almost immediately, and the Delaware Division of Forensic Science is now conducting an autopsy to determine both the cause and manner of death. Until those results come back, investigators are holding their cards close. As news broke, People magazine reached out to Bill Stevenson for comment. So far, there has been no public response. Silence in cases like this often becomes its own headline. Online, reactions have ranged from shock and sympathy to outright suspicion, with many questioning how a domestic dispute escalates into a fatal outcome without immediate answers. The media has also resurfaced old interviews and biographical insights about Jill Biden's early life. In 2022, her biographer Julie Pace described Jill's first marriage as deeply disappointing and emotionally painful. According to Pace, Jill entered the marriage young and idealistic, only to realize it didn't match her expectations. The divorce in 1975 was described as devastating, something Jill learned to compartmentalize in order to move forward and build her career. That ability to compartmentalize has followed Jill Biden throughout her life. After the divorce, she met Joe Biden, whom she married in 1977. Their marriage has now lasted decades and endured immense public scrutiny, tragedy, and political pressure. But this sudden tragedy connected to her past has reopened a chapter many assumed was permanently closed. What's flying under the radar is how rare it is for law enforcement to publicly confirm a domestic dispute call so early in an investigation unless it's directly relevant. Legal analysts point out that this detail suggests investigators are taking the circumstances extremely seriously, even if they're not ready to draw conclusions yet. Until the autopsy results are released, every possibility, natural causes, accident, or something more sinister, remains on the table. For Bill Stevenson, this moment could redefine how the public views him, especially given his indirect link to one of the most recognizable political families in America. Even though Jill Biden has no involvement in the incident, her name inevitably draws attention, amplifying the story far beyond a local police report. We've seen this before. Tragedies connected to high-profile figures often take on a life of their own. Comparisons are already being made to other cases where domestic calls preceded unexpected deaths, only for critical details to emerge weeks or even months later. The waiting period is often where public opinion hardens, sometimes unfairly, sometimes not. So what does this mean going forward? For investigators, the autopsy will be key. For the media, restraint will be tested. And for the public, patience is crucial, because jumping to conclusions can obscure the truth rather than reveal it. Still, One thing is undeniable. A woman is dead. The circumstances are troubling, and the answers are not yet clear. As this investigation continues, we'll be watching closely for updates, official findings, and any statements that could shift the narrative. This is one of those stories where the quiet details matter just as much as the headlines. What do you think really happened inside that Delaware home that night? Was this a tragic medical emergency, or is there more beneath the surface that hasn't come out yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because this story is far from over.